All right, welcome to the Cooligans, everybody.
Good.
Chelsea has just destroyed PSG 3-0 in what could only be described as an absolute drubbing.
Yeah, I tweeted out that Chelsea making PSG look like every team PSG has faced in the last 6 months.
It's a good point. It's a good point. It's a clean sheet for Sanchez, just how you all have written it up. If this is your first time experiencing the Cooligans, my name is Alexis Guerrero.
My name is Christian Polanco. Welcome to the show. We are live immediately after the Club World Cup final. And we're here with everybody in the chat. Thank you, everybody, for getting here early.
That's right, man. We had some people hanging out in the chat before we even went live. I love it. They're already trying to figure out what it is that we were doing in the moment in which before we went live.
Right.
There were some suggestions that maybe you were just tightening up your Excel spreadsheet formulas.
That's usually, I mean, you know, everybody has their pregame ritual.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some athletes do what they got to do. Somebody, you know, I'm sure they're listening.
Right, superstition, right? Like maybe I eat chicken before every game.
All right.
Not you.
I eat chicken during the game.
Yeah. It sounds like a game I want to be a part of. Somebody said that I'm programming dog barks into the Mixmaster 5000. Not exactly the machine we have. But good choice.
But we are joined by producer Carter and Big Dog Josh.
That's right, bro. Big Dog Willie, give us a bark, baby. It's nowhere near close to a dog bark, and it makes me so happy.
He still got it.
It really is. It's honestly, it's like starting a barn find pickup. Is what that is.
But welcome everybody. Yes, we're live on YouTube. We're live also across all of the Yahoo Sports channels. So welcome to anybody watching on Yahoo. Yeah. That'll be, I'm sure everybody on the Yahoo channels are like, are they going to hit the Yahoo button again?
Probably.
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
But let's get right into it. Chelsea, 3-0 against PSG. This is, I mean, we all basically were like, this is just, you know, sort of a rudimentary. This is just a casual. Chelsea has to show up because they have to play the final.
Right. You're getting paid to be there. Here's what I thought. I use this phrase a lot, even though I have no idea where it comes from. Cakewalk, and it was not.
Okay,
I don't know where the cakewalk started. I don't know.
It's actually a long thing. It's actually, I think cakewalk actually comes from like minstrel something. It has a very bad.
Should not be using that term. You know what you could have done? Kept that to yourself. You didn't have to blow up our spot.
When you look back and see the where it came from, it's not a great history.
Not a great history.
Yeah.
Well, just like America, there's some things we like to just suppress. But what we're talking about is something PSG would like to suppress, which, you know, the worst part of this is that I hosted an event in LA for PSG.
PSG.
And they were telling me that if they win, there's going to be an after party. They're like, let me know if you want to go. Now there's probably not going to be one because they just lost to Chelsea 3-0 in what can only be a masterclass from Maresca of completely taking away the most significant, the most dangerous, the most frustrating parts of PSG. Completely dwindled.
Yeah, they that's kind of why this result is so shocking because we watched PSG basically be a buzzsaw through this tournament outside
Including
of the one game.
Real Madrid,
right? Excluding the one game against Botafogo, they dominated every game. Maresca clearly was like, let me watch this Botafogo game.
You know what? Why don't you hit rewind on that real quick? I think I need to see this
what
again.
They did.
Yeah.
And it was pretty evident early on in the match. And I was thinking this in the beginning because Chelsea were so aggressive. I'm like, if Chelsea scores first in this game, they'll have a way better chance to win. Obviously, even though I know I was expecting PSG to kind of like even in those first like 10 minutes, I'm like, they'll turn it on at some point. Like Chelsea can't keep doing this, but that's exactly what they did. And you saw they put Cole Palmer on the right. He basically played like he does for England.
Yeah.
He essentially played as a winger. They played with 4 or 5
along the line
up top.
In other words, there was no one centrally in the 10 spot at all. There was just complete
because the
emptiness there.
PSG midfield has dominated pretty much every team that they've played in this Club World Cup. Even Champions League or whatever, they've been dominating the last few months. Maresca said, all right, how about we got no midfielders? We won't even compete with you guys. We're not going to try to tiki-taka go around or whatever. Just long balls, keep everybody up top, keep not only keep the PSG back line back there defending, but you're also gonna have to ask a midfielder to also stay in the middle to protect as well, and not. So there weren't really any options going forward because they had to prioritize defending.
And what they did was they pulled all those midfielders out of position, like you mentioned, and they attacked down the one side. You would expect they wouldn't attack down. The way PSG attack, Achraf Hakimi on the right-hand side will venture pretty far down. So you think the opposite side, their left side, Chelsea's right side, would be the most well secured, right? Because there's quite possibly one of the best left backs in the world in Nuno Mendes.
Yeah.
What did they do? They attacked that side.
Right, which is, I mean, bold. Right?
But I think it was also, what was the guy who took over for Pacho?
Beraldo.
Beraldo, there was something going on with the communication because their whole plan was to go down that right-hand side, in other words, PSG's left-hand side, and then cut in. And then someone a bit more central would have a shot on goal.
Right.
And it worked many times.
Well, so they're asking a bit more of Beraldo and
Marquinhos, which clearly that partnership isn't.
But the partnership between Beraldo and Nuno Mendes is that if you can get by Nuno, then you only really have to work on Beraldo, and Beraldo's not Pacho, right? So,
and Beraldo's like, where am I supposed to be again?
So it's like a masterclass.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where we were praising Luis Enrique all tournament and throughout these last few months, especially after winning Champions League. And bro,
can I ask you a question? Do you think this is the best Chelsea have looked in this competition?
In this particular game, against this level of competition, yeah, you got to say yeah. But I mean, we went to see them play. They played against Fluminense and pretty much dominated.
Which is why I was gonna bring that up after that game. What could you point to that's different that hasn't happened previous in this competition after the Fluminense game between, let's say, Maresca or maybe a family member of his, between then and this game?
That's right. Yeah.
Hold on. Tell them what it is.
This is a crucial thing. There was a moment during the game. We were watching the game against Fluminense, and
where were we? We was in the VIP.
We were in the
suite.
VIP section.
Right,
so shout out for who was it? Beyond had invited us. And
shouts to Beyond.
This is why we have.
We got this little joint right here.
It's not the actual ticket, but this is a golden ticket.
That's right. I tried to unwrap it. I thought it was chocolate.
But
what happened? That's the only thing that happened after that game that's different from other games to this game.
You had seen a lady with a few children, and they had Maresca on their jersey.
Right. So I looked it up. Turns out it was his wife.
Yes.
Coach Maresca's wife. What did I do?
Okay, this makes it sound much more ominous, but all you did was like say hello, essentially. And you said that you were a fan of her husband.
That's it right there, baby. That's the big difference.
Alexis said, I love your husband.
I say, yo.
You don't even understand how much I love you.
I'm an Arsenal fan, but I love the way your husband coaches. I watched him when he was at Leicester. I think the guy's really good. I love the way he does blah, 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 blah. And she was like, please stop talking to me. and I was like, yo, tell him I said hello. And she's like, I don't even know your name. I'm like, all right, peace. But that's it, baby. Right? That's it. That's what's different.
Michael Raymond said, Alexis thinks everything is wrapped in chocolate. That is true. He chewed on his microphone the other day, bro.
I was like, yo, this chocolate sucks.
It's probably the worst.
Copper wires hanging out of my mouth.
All right. How about let's look at player of the game.
I think you and I would have the unanimous choice here.
Yes. It has to be Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer was fantastic in this game. He ends up not winning the Golden Boot in the tournament. But he was just one goal shy of winning it. But 2 goals, and probably should have had a third because that first chance that he missed was also fantastic. But 2 goals and 1 assist on 4 shots. But more than that, not only was he like poised and confident, and you know, a lot of people are kind of talking about him in a final that he shows up in finals to say the least. But I thought he had a great relationship and chemistry with Joao Pedro. I mean, we saw earlier in the tournament the ball that Nicholas Jackson didn't pass to him. He took the shot instead of passing it, and Cole Palmer was furious. He kicked the goalpost. He's really, really angry. Since then, we have not seen Nicholas Jackson play another game.
No, man. He was like, yo, Speaking of cold, I'm gonna be cold-hearted. Get
Cole,
this guy off the squad, bro. He ain't working for us.
Cole spoke to Enzo Maresca's wife and said, "Hey, get this guy off the team."
What did Alexis say again? What was the advice Alexis gave you in the VIP suite? Honestly, I'm surprised Cole Palmer wasn't like, "Yo, add him to the new the Madueke deal, the Noni Madueke deal, bro.
Throw
We
him
don't
in
need
there."
him. They paid too much anyway. Give it to him."
Go trade him for a draft pick.
Yeah, yeah, bro. With the third selection of the 2025 draft.
Maybe Ant just asked chat. Y'all think J Balvin is getting his pick with Alexis frame? That's right. We also got to mention that Alexis in a commercial
That's
with
right.
J Balvin for the halftime show that
And what did I do in said commercial? I played soccer, y'all.
I mean, this is. I mean, you ask for an actor to show you range,
Bro. I was Meisner, okay? I stayed in character for 90 minutes.
Go check that out on Alexis's IG if you haven't seen it yet.
I actually got the raw footage of it, so we're gonna put up a video of it on the Cooligans channel.
Okay,
today.
yeah, let's do that because it was pretty dope. So, yeah, Cole Palmer was great, and I think this is.
But I think there's something to note there. He was great playing further right. It's interesting.
In general,
right? When you're not asking him to play the 10 and like he has in spots, or to play more centrally. I feel like it's more of his vibe.
I don't. The only reason being is that he's not that pacey. Like Pedro, he's not as fast as Pedro Neto.
If you get him the ball in space, he's good at going at defenders. So
he is.
He doesn't necessarily need the space to chase down a ball.
He got stopped a couple times by Nuno Mendes.
Nuno Mendes is also quite possibly
exactly.
one of the best.
But I think against PSG, this was the best possible tactical way to approach this game.
Right, he's versatile, so you don't have to put him on the right every time.
Towards the end of the game, when he was just kind of passing it back to Joao Pedro, sort of getting fouled. He fell, got back up, or whatever. He looks like he would be a pushover. Like you see his frame. He's not big, but he's not muscular by any means.
Right.
He's one of those. Like English footballers that are like the gym, never heard of it.
Yeah,
right?
No, I don't know that guy. Got no friends named Jim. Jimothy? Nah, I don't know
but
him.
he seemed pretty strong in this game, kind of holding his own, being out wide, getting pushed around, not really let it impact his game at all. And I just think this could be at the beginning of a very, very strong Chelsea team in the Premier League, especially with the inclusion of Joao Pedro. They look great.
I think we're maybe buying in a little too much to this final because I do think Maresca is a great coach and he would be able to sort of, play chess with the Luis Enriquez of the world, right? And I think he did a good job. But I think to suggest that this is the form Chelsea are going to keep throughout an entire season, a long season where the Premier League, every match in the Premier League is a Champions League match. It's going to be tough.
Ben Skolnick said PSG equals Palmer said game. So a couple other Luke Sturgeon, shout out to Luke Sturgeon and Gully Squad said, Alexis, how much did you pay J Balvin to be in that commercial?
Hilarious. We did have some fun moments, but luckily no money left my pocket.
All right. Okay. What was that? Go. Oh, okay.
Yeah, of course.
We have to talk about Joao Pedro next.
God, what a good signing, huh?
Yeah, this is one. I mean, I'm already talking about his relationship with Cole Palmer, but the what was it? They announced his signing. Oh, they announced him during the Club World Cup. Yeah, with the video of him, kicking the ball in the beach in Rio de Janeiro, and then he doesn't arrive at the beginning of the Club World Cup.
He was on vacation with his family in Rio.
He was on vacation. And then I believe was the first game against Fluminense. No. Maybe it was the one before that.
Before that, I'm pretty sure.
But he scores 2 goals. It might have been against Fluminense. I could be wrong, but
he did play and score 2 goals against Fluminense.
Scores 2 goals against them, and then gets a goal here. And more than anything, he's looked not necessarily just. Not dominant by any means. I thought he was pretty good at Brighton.
He did look dominant. Yeah,
I wouldn't say that. I just think he looked pretty. When you're on a new team, you usually have the like, hey, I'm not here to step on anybody's toes and blah blah blah. Most players are not starting at a new team in a tournament that you're possibly going to win $100 million in, right?
Right.
So the pressure was immense. And in
He played 36 minutes against Palmeiras, by the way.
Okay. So he never, he played in some reasonably big games against Brighton. But were Brighton ever in Europe while he was at the team? I don't think so, right?
I would have to look back. But yeah, you would say that these were, because of the amount of money on the line and because it's a full-blown competition. It's not just like 3 games.
And that's your preseason.
Yeah.
Right?
Your preseason's like, yo, there's money on the line. Get out there.
Right.
Get out there and help us with our PSR. This was a tough one. The match against Fluminense, his original club, his old club, was his first start. And look how well he played there. And look how incredible he played here. Part of me wonders if it's that the, not necessarily having enough game tape on how he plays at Chelsea that made him look so good, Like people not really being able to prepare for him.
Yeah,
and
that's a fact too.
through across an entire Premier League season, you'll be able to prepare quite a bit for him.
Yeah, it's interesting from a coming from in Brighton, he sort of left on weird terms. Like he came off as like an arrogant player in some ways. And
well, didn't he want to leave? That was the whole thing.
I think so. Yeah. But you know how it is. Like as soon as a player is trying to sort of force a move, then all of a sudden he's problematic.
Right. You think you're better than me?
Yeah. Or stuff in the media leaks out, or some innocuous sort of story.
Muddy the water.
But
bro.
then when hearing him speak about why he didn't celebrate his goals against Fluminense, which he could have just said, that's my old club and whatever. I thought it was respectful, but he was just like, no, that team gave me everything. They changed my life. They changed my family's life, and I will always be appreciative of them. But I had to do my job and score. And when you hear him speak in that way, I'm like, and his English is very good. Also, credit to him. Got a lot of sometimes especially the Brazilian players may not even bother, or maybe it's just like too much.
Argentinian ones don't even try. Like, Tevez, they still don't know what word in English.
And he was very, very thoughtful and clearly just seemed like a really good dude. So it's
plus the look on his face when he scored against Fluminense, it wasn't just like I got to do this. It was like
I more than anything, I think he can end up becoming maybe a really, really fan favorite for Chelsea
I could
fans.
see that for sure.
That's what I think is exciting for him. So
let's talk about what went wrong for PSG, because seemingly there's a long list. But I'll go first. For me, one of my favorite coaches in the world, Luis Enrique. I've talked about it before, but I felt like there was a real lack of adjustments being made in game. They came back in the second half and had a much better second half than they did at first.
Yeah. Certainly
the beginning of it was much better, a little bit more balanced. But those first 10 minutes in the whole game, I'm like, damn, bro, they're getting absolutely taken apart.
Yeah.
I didn't see enough of the in-game,
the momentum in the first, on Fatma,
it's
the
all
first
blue,
15 minutes, just all blue.
It's all blue, bro. I just didn't see enough adjustments from Luis Enrique. And I don't know if that was sometimes when you're playing chess, you can't just make a move that will benefit you. You have to think like, all right, if I do that, what are they going to do to adjust? And maybe it was sort of what was happening in front of them was so new, seeing 5 players. There was a moment in the first 10 minutes when they finally did get some possession, and immediately Chelsea went to 6 at the back for a bit, and then Caicedo eventually stepped back into the midfield. But they clearly had tactics and ready to go for any of those adjustments that might come, and I think that caught Luis Enrique and his team a little bit by surprise.
I guess so. I mean, I'm trying to think of like what adjustment could he have made for PSG to make a bit of a difference here, and I don't exactly know. I mean, it would have been risky to. And you saw it especially a lot more in the second half. Nuno Mendes dribbling the ball forward, putting a lot more pressure, trying to put pressure on on their defenders, their midfielders to make decisions to press up a little bit higher. And credit to players like Caicedo, Reece James also Reece is an outside back playing in the midfield.
Yeah.
They defended really well. They didn't let the normal control of the midfield that happens for.
Kamada got mostly locked. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Due didn't seem as efficient in the final third. The one change I probably would have made, and I don't know what other adjustments would have happened. Maybe there's a lot of smarter people than me involved in making those decisions.
Me right here.
I was pointing at you. Actually, I was pointing at the chocolate. Is this chocolate? Someone remind me.
The chat right there.
I'm going to eat it. Here's what I'm going to suggest. Ousmane Dembele should have tracked a little bit further back added an extra body in that midfield, create the midfield, and that would have pulled those Chelsea center backs a little bit out of position, or at least you go, no, you go, no, you go, no, you go.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, maybe in a moment or two, creates a little bit of space, because when you have Vitinha, when you have João Neves, when you have Doué, when you have Kvaratskhelia, you have enough quality to be able to dribble around a defender or two. Would that have freed up that space? I'm not 100% sure. Ousmane Dembele, who, you know, for all intents and purposes, was really stuck in somebody's pocket today, because this is not great. One shot, 34 or 39 accurate passes. He certainly was connecting, but he wasn't connecting with the one thing he's supposed to, is the goal, which we've seen him do now for an entire season.
I can't even remember one moment where he was like really
That's not
that
true. Remember
threatening.
when you were like, yo, is that Ousmane Dembele? I remember that.
There was a moment. I legit asked.
That's real.
At some moment in the game, I'm like, is Ousmane Dembele in this game?
Yeah.
Because I did not remember if he was actually involved. Look, as far as the back line, Malo Gusto, Chalobah, Colwill, and Cucurella couldn't have had any better games. Like, even I'm looking at
in particular, I was surprised by it.
Chalobah stopped pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Again, and they weren't really in situations that they had to do any kind of emergency defending or anything like that. They were fantastic.
Right.
Anybody else? I mean, Doué did it. I mean, he was maybe the second half.
You know what I mean?
This is how we don't do it.
Yeah,
right?
damn, son. Hey, you change his name to do some.
But the players you expect, like,
even
magic
Hakimi.
from Hakimi, just nothing.
Even Donnarumma, really.
Yeah, I mean, Donnarumma, the shots.
That one.
He had a couple.
Yeah, he did. But that one Cole Palmer shot, which went to Donnarumma's right, that just kind of, I felt, had he maybe caught a look at it a little bit earlier, he would have been able to stop that.
Right. Yeah, this is just, and then obviously Joao Neves getting a red card for doing what everybody wants to do to Cucurella.
I gotta be honest. I want to do it to Cucurella.
just for fun, for funsies once in a while, because he is annoying.
Absolutely.
He's one of the most annoying players in the world, and he's going to bother you all day. And
it works.
And he's going to be, you ever been to a nightclub and you're dancing with a girl that has like a lot of hair and poofy hair, and she like hits you with the hair, and you're like, you're cool,
yep.
but this is, I don't like this. And so imagine playing football for 90 minutes, getting, smacked with hair all day, and then at one point you're gonna be like, "Yo, stop!"
Yeah, and that's exactly what Joao Neves did. You see him there. His stats are he was dispossessed once, he was dribbled past once, he only won 1 out of 8 tackles, and he yanked on Cucurella's hair. And got a red card. Not a great day out on the pitch for Joao Neves.
Not at all. This is just one of those one of those games where they're already so frustrated, especially with, again, how well it has to be like a smack in the face when you're playing so well throughout the tournament. You're embarrassing teams, and then you're just like, what the hell is this?
How annoying could somebody be that you got to get after him less than an hour? You can't take an hour and a half of somebody being annoying.
I mean, how long is this podcast, bro?
Damn.
Let's take a look at some Twitter comments and tweets, and let's because this Club World Cup final has brought some heat.
Everybody got banter, bro, including our chat. Shouts to everyone in the chat.
This is what's the?
It's Benzema, and it says Palmer in this Club World Cup run since running the wrist tape.
Right. So he has the Benzema wrist tape, which a lot of players do, and part of me, obviously, it's cosmetic. It has to be, right? They're not all
it's
injured.
Like the Allen Iverson sleeve. Like at first it was that tendon, but then he was like, "No, I'm gonna just keep wearing it."
But Cole Palmer turned it on. So shout out to NM. What is that? NM. Or NN2RD. I don't know who that is.
Sure.
What's next one? What do we got?
We got some funny ones. This is by Fan. Said, Dembele losing Club World Cup final 3-0 makes Cristiano Ronaldo the front runner for Ballon d'Or.
Okay, we're doing this? We're doing this?
Yeah, I see your math, dog. I just don't think the final equates.
You know what's funny is that my TikTok, there's a lot of Real Madrid fans, a lot of Barcelona fans, and regardless if Barcelona or Real Madrid are playing in anything, they'll find ways to talk about each other. So
what are the odds?
So one of the there's a I think he's like a Brazilian dude. I forgot his name, but he's a big Real Madrid fan. And when PSG demolished Real Madrid, he was talking about how he's almost glazing over the fact that they just lost, and he's like, this is why Dembele's gonna win Ballon d'Or and Lamine Yamal will never win anything. And it's like, all right, well, Barcelona's not playing in this tournament.
Yeah, you can't have somebody rob you and be like, now this is the excellence of planning.
Next one, what we got?
This is from DAZN. It's a little bit cut off, but here we go. In case you missed it, Coldplay also performed in the first half. Catch the FIFA Club World Cup final. Blah, blah. Yeah, they announced everyone for the halftime show. Except Coldplay, which was a bit shocking.
We were watching it, and I was reacting to it because it's just like, well, you have J Balvin, obviously big star.
Thames, Doja Cat, everybody knows them.
All big names. Yeah. And then they said, oh, and a special guest. And I'm like, all right, the special guest is going to be like somebody up and coming, that like maybe young people will know.
I like how you pointed out yourself. Young people,
young people like me will know, but maybe not everybody else. But it's Coldplay.
Yeah, Coldplay's a big name.
Coldplay is one of the...
And obviously the joke on the word Cole Palmer, Coldplay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, this is... Coldplay is the biggest name out of all those names. Yeah. Respectfully to all the other performers.
I don't agree with you. That's a little bit of a boomer take.
Coldplay... I'm not even saying anything out of like, I love Coldplay.
I bet you more people know who Doja Cat is in that audience than knew who Cole Palmer was in Times Square.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Not possible. Cole Palmer rolling through Times Square on a scooter. This is something where
we could have pulled so many other people.
I mean,
they're doing a great job.
But
can we get this off screen?
But Cole Palmer, this is what the luxury.
But don't you think that's also? I feel bad whenever they do this. They're like, because Americans don't know who soccer players are.
Right.
But also, you're in the place that has the most ads and lights of everything anywhere. You're going to look up. No? You're not really going to look at the guy next to you on a scooter.
I think the weirder thing out of this video is not that Cole Palmer was scooting through Times Square. It's that he's wearing a hoodie in 90-degree heat.
No, but don't you understand? He's cold, man. He was doing this without the hoodie.
As a New Yorker, I see somebody in a hoodie.
I don't trust him.
In 90, I'm like, yo, I know I shouldn't be on that block.
Yeah, that dude gonna ask me what time it is. And gonna punch me in the face
all
and
of
take
a sudden, all of a sudden, my Jordans are missing.
Yeah, damn. Yo, what size are those?
So let's take out some YouTube comments. So shout out to everybody in the YouTube chat.
Alexis programming the dog barks into the Mixmaster 5000.
Let's go, Nick.
Whoa.
Ben again. Chelsea made PSG looking like 11 Ajimangs. 11 Ajimangs is crazy.
That is wild. We all need a team of Ajimangs.
Maybe Ann said Alexis is absolutely heated under that beautiful smile. London is blue. I'm not a Chelsea fan.
You can have this one. How about that? You Chelsea fans can have this. I was this close to partying with PSG after this game, by the way, y'all.
What does this? Maybe we'll talk about this after. But I'm curious about what in the chat you can start putting in some answers. But what does this do? Winning the Club World Cup for Chelsea, a Premier League team.
What does this mean in the long run?
What does it mean? Is this we're the first? The banter is never gonna stop, or is it just like? Are people going to kind of dismiss the tournament in general, as they sort of already have?
You have to answer this with an asterisk, and that asterisk is that Chelsea fans are always going to be Chelsea fans.
Right.
So they're going to constantly remind you that they won this because they've won every trophy available to win, right? And now they're going to remind you that they also won the first full FIFA Club World Cup after winning a previous version of the FIFA Club World Cup.
It is so wild to win the Conference League trophy and the Club World Cup.
What a gap in the two.
It's like they played a team in Reykjavik and
Astana, you beat Astana FC and PSG,
right?
With the same players? Damn.
Michael Raymond said PSG Farmers League ass team.
Team.
Right back. They won the Champions League, and you're right back down to Farmers.
Yeah,
bro.
dude, bodied all those English teams along the way, killed Real Madrid, and you lost to
Luke
Chelsea.
Sergio said, always a good day when PSG loses. It was a good day for who?
Yeah.
Alexis doesn't get to party with these guys.
I know, man. That wasn't fun. We all could have gone, dude. Luke, you hate me, bro? Michael Raymond said, do you think PSG didn't play well because they might have been tired from playing pretty much nonstop playing soccer? Tired from pretty much playing nonstop
I mean, they all
soccer.
did, right? This is I don't know. Just in general, I would say it's not as much the playing of the matches themselves, more than it's playing in that heat. If these games were 70 degrees and in whatever stadium or whatever, I think it would have been. I think we would have seen a different quality football throughout the entire tournament. Because some of the days,
I don't know, because everyone played in the same heat. PSG's playing in the same heat. Chelsea's playing in.
That's what I'm saying. But I think both teams would have shown a higher quality and more, stamina, endurance, or whatever throughout the full tournament. Because some games were really, really, it was just so brutally hot, especially that PSG Atletico game where the players were like, my toes are literally on fire. That is going to affect.
They said that?
They did. Yeah, one of the Atletico players said that, like, I felt like my feet were on fire. Because it's just too hot. I mean, and now, Enzo Fernandez in one of the scrums before the game, he was talking about that he's worried about playing in the World Cup next year. That the stadiums, he hopes that they'll be covered or they'll move them or something like that. And apparently Infantino's looking into this about possibly moving some games to covered stadiums. I interpreted it as they're gonna put covers on the stadiums.
Yeah, I hope that's what they do. Not move the games.
Not move them, yeah, because
that would mean the final would get moved.
Possibly, I don't know. Or people have been asking to have the matches later in the evening. And apparently,
you think Europe will stay up? Remember when it was the South Korea, Japan World Cup? We had to watch that at 3 a.m.
I mean, we do it all the time.
Yeah,
we get up at goddamn, 7
when you're in
a.m.
LA, 4:30 in the morning
to
to
watch
go see
Premier
a
League.
game.
You can't wake up a little early.
Damn,
or
to see Arsenal play Ipswich,
or so stay up late to watch.
or
a couple
Everton
games.
play anybody.
Okay. Andrew Andis Brown said, with all that prize money, Chelsea can have a squad larger than an NFL team. That is true. They're just going to collect. Chelsea collects players like Pokemon cards.
Seriously,
bro.
they're going to need 2 wedding tents for the training. And Andis Brown also said, who was the best player for Chelsea in this tourney? Neto, Palmer? It's a great question.
In the whole tournament, I mean,
probably Joao Pedro, to be honest with you, man.
No, he didn't play all the games.
He came in. What a highlight good. He's been. He's scored in every game he's started.
To me, it's either Cole Palmer.
Cole Palmer was close enough to win the
only other
Golden
name
Boot.
that I really think could stand out is Moises Caicedo. Caicedo was also fantastic throughout the tournament. And just, especially, I keep talking about it, but again, the heat was ridiculous. And for him to play the way he plays and constantly in the face of all the defenders and maintain also, that he's a player that's going to foul a lot of people. I don't think he was suspended any games either. I could be wrong. But in general, that's a good defensive midfielder to help your other players to just be the engine of the team, and that's what he did. And so he's the only other name that I think could get a real shot for Chelsea. Ben Skolnick said Polanco referring to his Twitter burner accounts, quote unquote, for the content. Yeah, some of the tweets that we brought up.
Is it USMNT Otaku out there?
Ben Scully also said, need stamina and endurance. Blue Chews, my guy. Chelsea.
Chelsea Blue Chews is crazy.
I mean,
it works, bro. They don't have a shirt sponsor.
Hey.
I would just suggest putting a little bit lower on the shirt. You know what I mean? Really bring the attention where it's needed. You know?
All right. So the big picture of this Club World Cup and where it's over now. Yeah, I also, there was a video that I think that the Zone shared of R9 responding to comments about the Club World Cup. I forgot, there was Tebas, somebody in Spain, basically just poo-pooed the Club World Cup, and R9, obviously he's an ambassador for the Club World Cup. He's got to speak positively of it. Right. But I think I think all sort of perspectives are valid here, right? It's a new tournament. I listened to the players, right? The players, a lot of them were like, "Hey, we don't want to play in this. We want our preseason. We want to have our vacations." Like I think it was Chelsea or some other team, I don't remember, was asking for. It might have been Man City also. Was asking for their first game to be delayed so they postponed so they could have another week of a break. And they basically said like, "No, you're getting 3 weeks off." 3 weeks of preseason, and boom, and you're right back at it.
Entry level job in America, right there, bro.
So, this is it's something. Look, I mean, people have been talking about fixture congestion and all that stuff, and comparing it to other sports like NFL. Has like a 7-month break. Yeah. NBA has a really long break.
Sport on the body. NFL.
Yes. But the conversation around how we feel about this Club World Cup. It's obviously going to be every 4 years. Is this something we like in our soccer diet that's going to just be around forever, or is it too much? What I mean, I'll give my thought, but what do you think so far?
So I'll give 2 or 3 perspectives here pretty quickly. One, when the competition started, I thought this doesn't feel like a great idea.
Sure.
Adding more when the conversation is about trying to take away, and now you're adding more throughout the competition. I think I kind of grew into it, and partially is because, again, I think what it means to the sport in this country, and I'm going to look at it from that perspective. It's one thing to have a competition of nations that allows you to see how spirited the Scottish fans are and how spirited the Argentinian fans are, how spirited the British fans are, and the Swedish fans all celebrating, having a good time. That makes you feel something about other nations in a good way. But you've never seen what we've seen in this competition, which is like the Boca Juniors fans traveling to a place like the U.S. where those security guards had no idea what was going on in that one video. They're where all
like,
the fans
why y'all
going
so
crazy.
Loud?
Yeah, damn, son. How y'all learn the same song? Is this on the radio?
Is this like the biggest choir I've ever seen?
Yeah, like for those moments, that will lead to change in this country of people picking up this sport in a way that hasn't before. So that perspective, I think it makes a lot of sense here specifically. Also, I think about the Confederations Cup and that competition and how that was supposed to be a dry run for the World Cup for the host nations,
sure,
if you will, beforehand. And it's kind of like, yeah, it was a fun competition, but it really didn't mean much. People didn't put into it really what you wanted them to put into it, because it's playing for your national team before the World Cup doesn't really make as much of a difference in your heart and soul.
Right.
And I know that people like Charlie Davies, who played in it, would say differently, but
right,
this was a different way. First of all, I think it's probably a better preseason, a more meaningful preseason than you could probably have is by being in meaningful games. So you learn a little bit more about your players in that sense. Like you learn a lot about Joao Pedro as an example in this. And I think it's a much better pre-run for a World Cup because you're handling things you wouldn't have, like, Al-Ali and those amount of fans versus the Porto fans. You'd be like, well, you learned some things from that, right? The organization really thought a lot more Portuguese fans will show up because it's Porto. It's like, no, you need to market to Porto fans, not Portuguese fans. And look, Al-Ali practically filled out the entire 2 levels of MetLife Stadium. You learn lessons that I think will help you when it comes time to World Cup and how to manage people and crowds and things like that, where you probably wouldn't have learned that from a Confederations Cup.
Sure. From a logistics perspective, all of that is valid. I think most soccer fans are not really thinking about it.
You know how much I root for logistics. Logistics FC. Bro.
Logistics FC. Is,
yeah.
So I want to read these 2 comments because I think they're valid in the conversation we're having. Maybe Ant said, didn't watch a single minute of this money-hungry FIFA nonsense. And then Michael Raymond said, I think it's too much, but I will still watch because I'm a soccer fiend. And this is, and this is something that I think both are valid.
I understand both the perspectives.
100%.
Yeah.
And we went to 3 games.
Right.
And again, the takeaway for us was like, whoa, I didn't know these Egyptian fans were really out here like this. Yeah. And it gave me a different connection or a new connection to Al-Ali and Egypt as a whole and the way they view the game. And this is like sort of the sharing of cultures and the thing that I appreciate. But then, yes, I also see the money-hungry, quote-unquote money-hungry stuff of obviously Trump being at the game. FIFA opening their office in Trump Tower, and you see the glad handing and shaking hands of like, we see what's going on in the country with ICE and all this other stuff, and the sleaziness that comes with, hey, and it's obvious. It's like, oh, you want to do the tournament here? All right, this is how it's gonna work.
Yeah.
You want to make money here? You want to make money in the U.S.? This is how you're gonna do it, and you're gonna have to, they took down the anti-racist signage.
They don't
and
say that no more.
They don't say it, and it's like they took
They
it.
don't say fight for peace. A piece of the pie is what they fighting for, bro.
And that's the part is, and to Michael Raymond's point of like, I'm gonna watch it because I'm a soccer fiend, and that's where it's
you can
like,
be the most diehard against all those things that you're talking about, right? Like,
yeah,
you want them to talk about the no racism, you want this, but you're a Chelsea fan and your team is playing for a trophy. So how are you going to fight against that desire to want to see your team win?
And
if you're, this might be like a great vacation. Like, let's say someone's taking their kid for the first time to see a Fluminense game, and you've been telling your kid, I'm a Fluminense fan, you live in Florida,
yeah.
and you fly up to New York, and the kid gets to see the team play meaningful. It's not the starters for like 10 minutes. It's real. And that maybe makes that bond with the sport. Maybe it's a kid who's never seen soccer. It's hard for me to take that away from what all the,
they're all
people who pull the strings are
exactly.
doing.
All those things are bad because it would be ridiculous to say that there's nothing positive to come from it.
And I would be much harder on the stance had FIFA also paid me. I just want everyone to know that.
But
if I was getting that R9 check.
To me, it's like that what you hope for, and this is me just trying to think as like a good person that working within capitalist society, is that how passionate and how obsessed people are with their clubs. So you would hope that isn't abused. That, of course, Chelsea they play in this tournament and blah blah blah, and it might have all these.
You're suggesting we don't manipulate people with the things they find passionate.
That's the hope, but that isn't exactly what's gonna happen.
Interesting.
So it's such a frustrating thing. And then the Sepp Blatter was also in the news because Sepp Blatter was in the Athletic, and he came in with one of the wildest quotes I have ever seen.
He said, grr.
Sepp Blatter, Mr. Corruption himself, he said, quote, "We have lost football to Saudi Arabia. We offered it and they took it. Surprisingly, there is no opposition to this within FIFA." And the Athletic quote says,
what he said was, when I was there, at least the corruption wasn't like this.
It wasn't that bad.
You didn't even know who was paying me, bro.
This is bro, why are you here, dog?
The Athletic said former FIFA president Sepp Blatter has said football has been lost to Saudi Arabia and criticized his former employer's role in offering no opposition to the Middle East nation.
So I'll say this about that. Because
is Sepp Blatter right?
It's one of those things like the last few months on the internet, I'm like, am I agreeing with Sepp Blatter and like Tucker Carlson? I'm like, why am I agreeing with these people? But this is, I think the hypocrisy here, and I think what, I was just sort of mentioning money. I mean, money is, Saudi Arabia, they threw all the money at this tournament for it to be a success.
$2 billion, bro.
And so
that we know about.
What is the moral boundary that all of a sudden Sepp Blatter has? Why is this?
Because he didn't get a taste.
That's what it feels like, right?
No, not what it feels like. That's what it is.
Why does he have some sort of issue with this? It just seems like an odd, because even like Infantino all came under the wing of like Blatter and all the other people.
Yeah. I forget the guy who above Blatter who like started the corruption. I forget his name.
So I think what we sort of have normalized is like the Middle East is bad. Like they're bad. And
we can't take their money.
But
we can take this major corporation's money that's throwing,
and it's
fuel and garbage into the water.
It seems like a super mega corporation is telling me that other super mega corporation, they're bad. We are good.
Right.
We know what we're doing. We have all the we're operating.
Our tap water's green, and we're like, I can't believe you're going to give money to those guys. Anyway,
so that's where the hypocrisy is here, and I think the sort of state of the world is making that a little bit more evident. Of like the people who they're telling us are bad, may not necessarily be bad, or it might just be like people are vying for the same they're fighting for the same customers, or they're fighting for the same resources or whatever. So they're like, they're Middle East, they're gonna, they took the sport and whatever. And
Sepp's like, I had the dignity, to take Rolexes from small nations who can't afford it. I had that dignity.
It's so insane.
Maybe Ant said, damn, worst person just made a good point.
That's exactly what it is, bro.
We've been running on that for about 4 weeks now.
This is we're going to go. We have a couple more tweets.
Yeah, we got some funny tweets, man.
Yeah,
we got some funny posts on the internet.
Let's take another
Let's see what
look.
we got here.
Right.
Hurt Gomez, the homie, said, you have to love the Club World Cup, a tournament where a small club like Chelsea can surprise a European juggernaut like PSG. Long live the Club World Cup. Good point.
I mean, it would have been cool to see the Urara red dragons.
Cool is not the word I want to use.
Yeah.
I think it's red diamonds.
Diamonds, or I thought it was dragons. I don't know.
I think it's Urawa red diamonds.
Okay. Patty.
Cole Palmer's a cheat code. This is Patty Arsenal. Cole Palmer's a cheat code in finals. Most players struggle with the occasion in their minds, but he simply doesn't have a mind. Which, by the way, I will agree. I will say is true.
If you haven't seen, go look up. I forgot which game it was, but it was Cole Palmer talking to our friend Darian Jenkins.
Was he talking?
And doing the post-match kind of interview thing of like, why'd you do in the second? What the coach tell you in the second half? And blah blah blah. That's the job.
Yeah,
somebody has to do it. And she does her job. She does her job great. And Cole Palmer is just like giving her nothing.
You know what she told me?
What?
As soon as they were off air, he was lovely. Very talkative.
Yeah, you see?
But on air, he's like, nothing. He didn't say nothing.
So,
every photo you've ever seen of Cole Palmer, if you look at it, the sound that's coming out of his mouth looks like it's every photo.
I love this. Next tweet, it says, Enzo Maresca has won more trophies than Phase 7 Arteta.
All right. I'm already sure who picked this tweet. And it's our Tottenham-ass producer.
Amazing. Look, I mean,
do we count this as a major trophy? I don't think so. Let's just go back to what we were saying before.
Michael Raymond said the corruption will always be there. Did he forget who FIFA is? Yeah, I mean, I think as I've matured and gotten older in this game, it's
surprises you less.
It's like what the corruption. It's like what are we defining the corruption as specifically, right? It's like the corruption to me is simply this sport is effectively co-opted by the people who know how to monetize it in the best way possible.
I think it's a little bit beyond that. I think it's the fans' wish, the fans' request, as opposed to wish, is that the club be managed by people who have their best interest in mind, the fans' best interest in mind,
right?
The players' best interest in mind, to carry the sport forward in an altruistic way. And while this can be said by any leadership position, right? Whether it's politics or government or corporate, the problem is once you are handed all of that power, do you keep the first thoughts you had that maybe wanted you to step into that direction? After the third step, you're like, damn, a lot of people kind of know who I am. Things change once you've been given that power. And if you think back, FIFA for a very long time was mostly run in this, we're going to simply be the harbingers of the sport for the world. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, somebody, Sepp Blatter's original boss, was like, if everyone has a vote, I tell this country to vote a certain way, they're going to do it. So maybe you pay me to make sure that happens. And here we are. You know what I mean? We've gotten to this point where everybody needs to get their beak wet. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, well, if I got all this power, how come I don't have all this bank account?
Right.
And things get corrupted. It's really difficult, Michael Raymond said, should the Club World Cup always be in the U.S.?
No, definitely not.
I think yes.
Yeah, you think yes? No.
I think so.
That's like saying the World Cup should be in the U.S. every year.
Let's do that too. What the hell, buddy? We got NFL stadiums. What are we doing with it?
Maybe
they play 17 games a year.
Maybe I said instead of just having the games at regular U.S. times, they would prefer to screw over the players and get global viewership. Yeah, look, changing.
It's hard to make an argument for the opposite.
Yeah. I mean, and you know, we know enough players. We've interviewed enough players like where our sympathy is going to go with them rather than how much money everybody else is making. They're the ones doing the work.
Yeah.
So they should be.
But they're also getting paid a bunch. And I'm not saying it's their fault. I'm not trying to victim shame here because they are being asked to play a lot of. But who was it recently that said, was it Hristo Stoichkov? Somebody said, you know, yes, you are playing a lot of games. You're also being paid hundreds of millions of dollars. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't get to do that.
I don't love that either that much because no matter how much you're being paid, your physical body can only do so much. It doesn't matter if you're paid $1 billion to do one particular thing. The human body can only go so far. I also didn't love like Stu Holden and a couple other people, especially a lot of former MLS guys, are really mocking the fact of the players complaining about the heat. And I understand it to a degree, but again, we went to the games.
It's a great word to use.
It was so hot just watching the games and playing. I know playing was hot. I played in that heat.
Hold on, I wasn't getting paid a couple thousand to be there.
But that's making that excuse serves no one besides like FIFA.
No, it's not that. It's not that case. It's that you're being. It's up to you to decide whether you're being, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Properly paid. Compensated. Thank you. If you're being compensated for playing in that heat. Also, people play in countries where you have to play in that heat. There are players who make long careers of playing in that heat. MLS players are one of them.
Yeah, but I mean, it's even better with MLS now because all the games are at night.
Now when Stu Holden was playing, there were still dinosaurs out there.
I understand. And what I'm saying, Stu shouldn't have had to play in that heat. And Stu should be telling other people like, yeah, I had to play in that heat, and I don't wish for the next generation to have to play in conditions like that.
That's like saying it's cruel to make the players playing cold, you know, in these tiny shirts and shorts. Get them out there in sweatpants and sweatshirts. We can make the argument the opposite way, too. I don't disagree with you.
No, I just think it's
But I also think it's like, right, make those millionaires stay out of the heat. Bruh.
But that can...
Luke Sergio said Alexis's OnlyFans would just be pizza reviews. If you don't know, by the way, great idea. And my nude, you figure it out. Join and you'll know. On my personal Instagram, there is a fancy car show, supercar show in Europe, where they unveiled a coffee machine that looks like an engine. I said, I want that.
Okay.
And I said, but I have to start an OnlyFans in order to afford it. And if you look at the bottom, I put asterisk. I said, the OnlyFans are pictures of your mom that I drew. So I made it very clear what's going to be on the OnlyFans. I don't know why there's all this question as to whether I'm a hang low
Alexis
for not.
have so many pictures of our mom?
No, I'm drawing them all. I'm drawing them all.
Okay, look, never AI. Draw them all.
Nah, fam, we real artists right here, bro.
Let's wrap up here. The Del Boy in the chat just said, people overrating PSG just because they beat Real Madrid and Inter. The Premier League is the highest standard. There it is.
Also not true because they body Premier League teams on the way to winning Champions League.
I don't know. At the very least, I wouldn't necessarily agree with the statement, but I think it does say something about even a team like Chelsea throughout the season who were just mediocre.
We're talking about a conference league winner. You know what happened? They caught PSG lacking. That's all it was.
Okay.
Sometimes your ops win, bruh. Sometimes your ops have a good day.
All right, everybody. Everybody in the chat. Everybody hanging out with us after. Shout out to everybody watching across Yahoo Sports. If you haven't hit the like button on YouTube or subscribe, please do that right now. Especially if you're watching across the Yahoo Sports channels, youtube.com/soccercooligans. Head over there and subscribe. We do our show 2 days a week on Mondays and Thursdays. Occasionally we're live after some big games, but this is the kind of stuff that's going to be happening, especially next year during the Men's World Cup. So be on the lookout for that. Everybody follow us everywhere at Soccer Cooligans. Follow us on Blue Sky if you haven't yet. It's popping off over there. But shout out to everybody in the chat as well for crushing it. We have I think
they're so fun.
We have the funniest chat I think
Easy.
across of all footy, man. Just really people bring in some great jokes, and as stand-up comedians, it's a nice community that I think we have fostered
we applaud you
here. So shout out to everybody here. So also if you want to join our Patreon, you can do that that too. Patreon.com/soccercooligans. Feel free to do that. There's a lot of fun stuff over there as well. We have a Discord with all the people in our community that you can.
I'm gonna have to start making you do this real fast, like the drug commercials at the end. Like you may have diarrhea. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. Also, you might have diarrhea.
Yeah, I know I do. We had Ty before this.
Shout out to everybody, the Yahoo team. Shout out to Carter and Josh, crushing it per usual. Switching scenes, directing us, and bringing up the graphics. You love
They
to
doing
see
this the whole time, bro. You know what I'm talking about? They looking through that one little lens right at us. Carter wearing a scarf.
Y'all the absolute best. Hope you enjoyed the Club World Cup final, and hopefully you enjoyed watching the reaction with us. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. All right.
Maybe Ann said, not me being Alexis's biggest tipper on OnlyFans. I love you all, bro.
Y'all the best.
He said, eat that meat popping.
All right. Y'all the best.
I swear it's not a hot dog he's talking about.
We'll see you soon. Peace.
Love you guys.